I think y'all are overhyped on this card.
Overhyped.
I'm going to give you the hot take of the season, which is that this will be the worst card of the season by a mile.
I knew we couldn't get along.
Hello and welcome back to the Marvel Snapcast podcast. I'm your host here with our wonderful co-host, the one and only the
top 5 best snappers in the world. Sino. Cause I snap that hot fire and I rep that power on all day.
And he's louder than the loudest person in the world. If he has a child sleeping right now, I hope they wake up. And of course, our other co-host with us, the one and only
Mr. Epic Sax Party, according to Marvel Snap now. I mean, at least according to the event where now I had to change my name in-game to Mr. Epic Sax Party. But
that's right, and he plays sax all day.
I don't want to advertise that too loud. I'm just going to say, hi, I'm Guest. Nice to be here.
Yes, that guy's sax, guys. Don't let him fool you. He sax. I mean, listen, guys.
And he killed it on the front page, too.
Oh, my goodness.
Was killing it. He was killing it.
One hell of a stream, guys. One hell of a stream.
Great job.
That was.
If you guys missed it, I'm sure Guess we'll have some VODs up for you guys in the future. But definitely check it out live if you guys want to see the epic sax parties.
That's right.
And of course, some awesome Snap gameplay.
What was the epic sax count on that, I wonder? What was it? I know we had a count.
51.
Sheesh.
To the max.
Party. How tired were you after that?
Tired? Honestly, like I say it to this day that, I have the best shoulders in Marvel Snap because of both the epic sax parties as well as the baby sharks, which also set a new record of 61 times of dancing to Baby Shark in a 24-hour period. Like that is
bananas.
It was BANANAS straight up. Like,
yeah.
Honestly, the event went super smooth. The community came through in so many different ways. We all had a great time. It was just a win all around, in my opinion. Like I'm very, very happy for, what happened. And minus doing the one task, that was the only thing I regret of that entire experience, because we had a lot of achievements for those who didn't see. And instead of doing it like a subathon where it's like, oh, the more subs I get, the more I stay online. No. I did the more epic sax parties we get and unlock via whatever mechanic possible, then the more things I'll do. And one of them was doing a shot of the last dab hot sauce. So the Apollo hot sauce, like the last
on
Hot Ones.
From Hot Wings. Hot Ones.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, no. Like because I have the sauce. I brought it from the States when I came up in July. I was like, when was it? It's all a blur. But I got that sauce. I brought it with me. I really wanted to have it. I'm like, oh, this looks so exciting. I can't wait for this. And then I was like, ooh, I tried a little bit of it the other day. It's like, wow, this is actually really spicy. Okay, I could probably handle that. And spice-wise, I did. But intestinally, it was just an awful, uncomfortable
not for a shot
experience of that much. It was like lava working through your insides. That's the only thing I would never put on the list again.
Did it hit you during stream or after stream was over? Then
in the intestines. I'm not talking about instantly. Like the
heat.
soldering that I could create afterwards. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like while I'm live on stream, like 20 minutes later, and I feel it in my stomach and my esophagus is like, hey, you do have reflux now. And then my intestines are like, these were nice to have here. Let me just melt through these. And I could feel the discomfort. It was just not a good Marvel Snap experience, in my opinion. And I survived it. I can say that I did it, and I'm proud to say that I am now going to be sponsored by the Heatonist. No kidding, but I better be though for doing that. Wait,
that was
guys, like, jeez,
that was crazy. That was bananas. Yeah, when it comes to anything spicy, guys, make sure you guys are very careful because it's no joke. It definitely does not play with your internals. But nonetheless, speaking of Eternals, we're going to. Yeah, he would see. We got this guy with blasted hot fire. We're going to talk about what you guys came to listen to, and that's of course the new season of Marvel Snap and the Symbiote Spider-Man, which is a new Battle Pass card. Again, I'm sure you guys seen your favorite streamers, the people right here, play this card this week. And I must say, what a phenomenal card. Great season pass card. If you guys didn't know, of course, what it does is it allows you to do something which is called Activate. It is a new a new feature for the cards in Marvel Snap. If you guys didn't know how it's done, definitely check out Prashan's video on the Activate season and the mechanic. Now, this card is super awesome. It is a 4/6. It has awesome stats. And of course, what it does is it basically it combines itself with the card, taking it over and re-triggers its text, whether it's a text card or on reveal or even, I believe, ongoing. So nonetheless, let's talk about this wonderful card. Guess we'll start with you. How do you feel about this Symbiote 4/6 Spider-Man card?
I am very happy with it, to be completely honest. I love that it is, in my opinion, it is costed and powered just perfectly, because to really make this card do its maximum effect, it is a card you need to play on turn 4. And that in and of itself is very limiting. But if you build a deck that synergizes to that draw, knowing that, hey, I've got a 7 out of 12 chance to draw this card typically by turn 4, go ahead and play it down consistently. You're going to get your payoff, whether it's a Doctor Doom line, whether it's a Galactus line, whether it's a move line and you're activating another lower card. Like, there are several different things that this card can do and enable, I think is the better word for it, because we're seeing it with Nimrods, we're seeing it with Silver Surfer, we're seeing it in so many different types of decks.
Packages.
Yeah, so many other packages that it's exciting, and I want to make sure that we're also clear with the community. This is our first impression of Activate. It's going to feel very different once we get like Aranya down the path. And that's going to be a different understanding of truly getting how Activate works, because we also know from the announcements from the devs that they're going to bring it to some other cards like Black Swan and Hell Cow and potentially more in the future. So this is a great introduction to the mechanic, really making us feel comfortable understanding, okay, we do the thing and then we do the thing and then we're good, right? Cool. Order, layout, process, got it. Like, this is a great way to introduce a new mechanic into the game and then slowly bring in other cards that do it, bring in refreshing older cards to do it. I am very happy with how Symbiote Spider-Man has played, and I'm happy how Activate has been introduced into the game. I really don't have anything negative about Symbiote Spider-Man, and not because I think he's a diamond card or platinum. Oh, sorry, diamond's highest. Yeah, I don't think he's a diamond card. I think he's a really good card, but I think it's the combination of everything that makes it a very enjoyable Marvel Snap moment.
Fair. So your score, your rating on this card.
It's gonna be a solid platinum. In very early testing, I think it's a really, really good card. I can't give it the diamond status because of it being so niche to that 4 cost, which is exactly what it needs. If this was a lower cost, this would be all different kinds of broken and borked. But yeah. It is right, perfect, exactly where it should be especially for a season pass card that's so accessible. Yes, I think this is very they hit the mark really, really well on this.
All right. Okay. Sino, how do you feel about the card?
I like Symbiote Spider-Man. I agree with Guess. It's appropriately cost. Like he said, if it was any lower cost, I think we'd be seeing crazy toxic combinations going out there. I think the meta would just be a mess. You know what I mean? Just things just procking over and over again, because like Guess said, it is a season pass card, so it is easier for people to access. It's not like you got to use tokens or spotlights to get it. You just purchase it with $10, boom, or the 14, whatever you're purchasing, and anybody can have it. So if it wanted to be as toxic as like when Loki was the season and everybody was getting it and then just flooding the meta with it, like that, I feel like that's the potential for this card. So they cost it appropriately so it wouldn't kill the kumbaya we have in the meta so far. I like Symbiote Spider-Man. I've seen it, just to add what Guest said, I've seen it used with Zola also, which is just crazy and broken. Yeah, just mixing it in there with the Black Panther combination, White Tiger, Little Odin, all that stuff. I've seen that type stuff going on. Really like it. So I agree with Guest. I'm giving this card also a platinum rating. Really digging the Symbiote Spider-Man. And like obviously, but like what he said, it's the first introduction we get to Activate, and I really was digging the fact that you can control when you want this card to proc. You can plan it out. You can do, you know what I mean? It's just it's so good for the game, I feel, because it gives you just a little bit of control in an RNG. When you feel like just RNG is getting at you, you have some control in what you're doing, right? So yeah, platinum is definitely my rating.
All right, awesome. Yeah, I think it being a 4/6 is fine. Some people I spoke to feel that the 6 is too powerful and it should be a little bit less. I don't think though. I think the 6 is fine, but we'll see what happens in the future. As for it being a 4 cost, yeah, that sucks. I would prefer it to be less, as everybody would, to get that card out a bit faster, or probably the Moon Girl and get a couple of it in your hand. That'd be pretty awesome.
Everybody's using it, you know?
Yeah, of course. But nonetheless, 4/6, like you guys said, is perfect. This card is definitely up there in the platinum status. Yeah, definitely not diamond. It's not a perfect card. If it was a lower cost, then yes, we'll be talking differently. Nonetheless, as you guys all said, all the points hit perfectly. Yes, we love the wonderful new addition, the new mechanic, Activate.
Woo-hoo. Cheers to you.
All right. Yes. Now, of course, with the new season, we always have 2 cards. We have the season pass, and of course, we have the spotlight card. And in this case, the spotlight card is Silver Sable. Now, Silver Sable is steal 2 power from the top card of your opponent's deck. This is an on reveal card, so it could be triggered, re-triggered. It could work with the symbiote, could work with Grandmaster or Odin. I think this card is a great card, especially in bounce. I think that's the home for her currently. I think that's the place people will play her most, because she can, come back down and become a 1/4, right? A 1, whatever the case is. No, a 1/4, sorry. A 1/5. Got to do math here. Math is hard, guys.
It is.
She become a 1/5, 1/2 bouncer, or of course play with her with Grandmaster, or play her on Wong, etc. I think she's also great with Ajax and all those wonderful negative afflicting cards. So for me, I'm going to give Sable a gold rating. She gets I'll go double gold for what she does. So she gets double gold for me. Guess, how do you feel about Sable?
You hit the same ranking as double gold. She's platinum in bounce, but I'm back and forth between double gold and platinum on everywhere else, because if you can get her full value, which is she steals the 2, and then your opponent also plays the card that has the -2 afflicted, then you're getting a value of 1/5, which is still very good. Right. And you can see, we have Hydra Bob and Murder, and we have Rocket Raccoon. Like, there are some cards with conditions to make that happen. But her strength comes from being able to easily get to 1/9 in total by having that double affliction path, if you will, or 1/7 in total from that double affliction, and maybe they don't play that final card. I think in bounce, she's the new replacement for Rocket Raccoon. I think it's more consistent for her power, rather than the chance at getting up to a 1/9 where you could whiff twice and have a 1/1. I'd guarantee a 1/5 that then goes to 1/7 and 1/9 based on what my opponent decides to do. I'm very much so on that train more than I am Rocket Raccoon. And I think for the affliction side of things, she shows some strength in the Evo shell more than anything else. I liked her better than, that Celine, to even mention that card. Y'all remember we have a card named Celine, right?
Yeah.
She slots better in the affliction Evo in that aspect.
She wasn't coming in handy when she first came out, though. She was actually all right, Get those goblins worse. Get those goblins worse, Like, she had purpose.
She was better when she was a 1/1 or whatever it was with the affliction.
Yeah.
She was better as that, because then you could yeet her over using Annihilus. Now at the 1/2,
right.
I actually seem to want to use her less.
I agree with that point. That I do agree with. But hitting maybe an Iron Man, giving it some negative cost, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe a Mystique. You know, just she had her uses. That's all I'm saying. Don't be hard on the girl Celine. Give her a break.
In the role of that deck, I like Silver Sable better. Where instead of because a lot of the Evo builds, you know, if you look at some of you go way back to the really successful days of like the W build, right? Which you run Misty plus Nebula plus Sunspot, right? You want a lot of 1-drops in a lot of the builds that focus on high Evo. I think you can make a case to say that to expedite that consistency for Abomination, that you replace one of those with this, because Abomination's more valuable than Nebula in some cases. So that's kind of the direction I feel that she should probably be adventuring more into, but that's because, and the only reason it won't is because Evo needs some love still. The whole Evo set needs some love in some way, shape, or form. But overall, I'm going to say in bounce, she's a platinum card, but in every other deck, she's a double gold.
Yeah. I'm with you. I was even thinking about her for our boy Gilgamesh, right? Because she's automatic. Hey, I've got buffed. You know, Gilgamesh, here you go, right? But it's just a lot of work. Nonetheless, you know, how you feel about Silver Sable?
I'm not going to lie. You guys kind of sold me a little bit. You guys sold me a little bit more on Silver Sable. Wasn't feeling her at all. Just wasn't into it at all. I was very intrigued with Symbiote Spider-Man to the point where I didn't pay much attention to Silver Sable. So hearing what you guys said really made some sort of an impact on me. Now I think she's actually pretty good. I think she's better than what I initially thought she was, which I thought I was going to give her. My initial rating was going to be a silver, but from hearing from what you guys said, I'm not going double gold, but I will say gold, having a potential 1.7 or 1.9. Like Guest said, she's really good in bounce. So those points right there really sold me. I thought it was 4. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was more of an Ajax card. That was my initial grab from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
something
that's fair.
Really help Ajax. That. You know what I mean?
Right.
To kind of like afflict some negative power over to your opponent's side. But the Gilgamesh was interesting when you said that. But and the bounce is really interesting. I think honestly that's really what she's intended for. So yeah, I'm gonna go gold, just gold. We'll see when she comes. When she's out already. But when I really get to know her, and you know, I was so enamored with Symbiote Spider-Man, I didn't give her enough attention. So I can't wait to give her some more. Yeah,
that's fair. I mean, listen, that's a good rating. We all feel the same way so far, which is great. Normally we're all arguing, so this is a good start to the episode. We're going to talk about
the time. We'll argue.
Yeah. We're going to get into the
so fresh,
so early. We have 3 other cards coming out this season. We're going to dive right through it. We're going to basically say how we feel about it, and of course, I start with Madam Web, which is ongoing. You can move one of your other cards away from here each turn. So this to me means move just got some wonderful help. This card is going to be fun and move. It is a 2/1. So you get to play this card super early. Who needs to play Kraven anymore? Or maybe you still play Kraven in this package, put Kraven in the lane and move the cards to Kraven. Either way, I think this card is going to be super awesome. And it's going to definitely be up there. I'm going to give this a platinum rating from right now. How do you feel, Gus?
I don't know if platinum is the right way to go about her, to be honest. I think this card is going to be a problem.
Oh, so you going diamond?
Yeah, she's kind of my diamond card for the month, and that's saying something.
Okay.
Because I love the idea of Activate and Symbiote Spider-Man, but when you start thinking about the mind games that happen in New York, right? You have turn 6. Comes on down, the location's there. Do you move the card or not? Add that element into this card first off. Turn 6, do you move a card away or not? You start playing that mind game, just like when there's Nocturne on the board. Do you move Nocturne into Limbo or not?
Right.
You start with that mind game. So now you've got this power play of I can move something. You don't know which one, and you don't know to which location, but you have that mind game. That's problem number 1. Problem number 2 is the Kraven ramping, right? Or just moving for the sake of ramping, whether it be Dagger, whether it be Vulture, whether
that's true, yeah.
You've got all these rampable cards or cards to ramp into, that's still also very much so become a problem child card. Number 3, you also now have another opportunity to do something with move that people aren't talking about, which is being able to lock down a lane with Professor X, see how much you're winning by that lane, and then decide to move something either into it or out of it.
Out of it, yeah.
So that lockdown lane also now becomes an issue. Now put this one step further and look into some of the stacking abilities that we have in one of our favorite packages. Angela, Kitty Pryde, Elsa Bloodstone. Now mix this into that. You can move around where that Elsa Bloodstone is.
The Bloodstone goes, yeah.
By filling other lanes and getting more fill-ups later on. There are so many things that this card is going to be able to enable that it's not just about move. It's very, very, very much so about lockdown. And I'm not as concerned about move because move is going to get its time to shine with this card, 100%. That is the way to go, in my opinion, with starting off with Madam Web. Reintroduce yourself with move, and people should be playing move now to really fully understand the turn order, the move order and the mechanics and the resolutions and all this kind of stuff, right? Because once Madam Web gets here, it's going to take it to a cracked level. But I would just as almost more concerningly be worried about lockdown with this card, because this card will give you the ability to storm a lane, Madam Web, and if you need to slowly go back into that lane, you can. If not, now you've just got pieces that you can ramp. You can feed into that lane and then dagger over to, instead of going to the right to steal, an extra 6 or 9 power because it's a stormed lane. Well, I could just move it over to the left instead and give extra power there because I've already won that lane pretty much guaranteed.
Better than the storm lane. Yeah.
Lockdown is the unspoken best deck potentially for Madam
Web.
Move.
It's a good thing I'm playing that War Machine Infinite deck, guys. So you have nothing to worry about. Go check it out if you guys want to be able to get rid of or not worry about the lockdown. But yeah, all right, Sino, how do you feel about this card? That's Guest Diamond. I mean, listen, I understand everything you said. It makes a lot of sense. How you feel, Sino?
I don't know if I can give Diamond, but I do think Madam Web is dangerous. I think, the unpredictability that comes with Madam Web is going to be frustrating. I remember a few episodes back, I don't remember which one, but I remember guests talking about the unpredictability of Vision, right? And the paranoia that comes with
Vision was his favorite 5. Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So imagine now Madam Web. Right? Yeah. Now it's ongoing. You can move one of your cards away from here each turn. So that means anxiety just through the roof. She's a 2 cost. So from 2 on, anxiety like crazy. You know what I mean? And it's just the shifting and moving of power here and there. You don't know what's going on. Your opponent, you might not even know where you're moving your cards. How your opponent's gonna know? So it brings a lot of unpredictability to it. She's dangerous. I'm gonna give her a platinum. I don't know about diamond though.
Yeah.
But I definitely think she's a platinum card. She brings just a plethora of opportunity for you to move power and shift around. Like Guest said, you can get into control too. You can move your cards into that storm lane or that Professor X now. So it's crazy. Move card lists are gonna go insane. We already know that. That goes without being said. Move is going to be, the Move got one. You know what I mean? It brought itself up. It elevated itself. So go ahead, Guess.
I'm just going to throw this out there because Ken's already thinking about his War Machine deck.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the awesome combination now of being able to confidently play Ebony Maw on 1?
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And move things into that.
Things into that lane.
You're not shook at all about that.
As
That's true. As needed. Not even worried about War Machine having to be played.
No. Exactly.
We play the Goose package too and lock a lane down with Goose and then start stuff in that Goose.
Moving stuff. You move a 5 cost or a 4 cost or your calls go over there or you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. It's going to be insane. I'm a fan.
Madam Web into Hercules is going to be
fantastic. Yes, that's going to be the best thing ever.
Almost the reversed that's going to be the best thing ever, right? Cloak moves 2, you move away with Madam Web.
In a way, yeah, because now do Ebony Maw on 1, different lane, Madam Web on 2, Hercules into that lane on 3. Slide the Hercules into
slide the Hercules
lane, and just keep
and then start bouncing cards off of it.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
3 cards. I mean, that's just stupid power.
It's going to be ridiculous.
Repeatedly.
Yeah.
It's just, there's so
She's
many cool
definitely dangerous.
Card.
A lot of Shadow Kings and Fun Police will show up, but
well,
geez, we just made Madam Web the best card in Marvel Snap, guys. This is another Sage. Make sure you guys pick up Madam Web. Don't sleep on it. Guess said it first. Pick up Madam Web, guys. That's the diamond card. We see it. Yes, do not. You guys messed up on Sage, and you guys regret it now. We're telling you guys, Madam Web.
Yeah.
Who is the spotlight cards of Madam Web? Do you guys know? Oh, yes, I do. It's Goliath and Silk, which are also 2 crazy cards. So don't make that mistake, guys. Make sure you guys go ahead and get Madam Web. All right. Then, of course, we have the other Activate card for this season, and that's Aranya. All right. So Aranya is give the next card you play +2 power and move it to the right. Again, move gets some love. This is going to be awesome, especially in move decks, moving cards to the right, because Heimdall move cards to the left. So if you can do these special things, and when I play move, that's the kind of way I do now. Try to get cards to go from left to right, so that when I'm ready to play Heimdall, they go back to the left. Aranya gives you that ability to do it within that turn. Now, with the Activate mechanic, with, of course, the Symbiote Spider-Man, we know we can only activate 1 time. Is Aranya going to allow us to activate multiple times? That's just a 1 time as well. So she only does 1 time.
So activate was only, you just activate and then boom.
I assume with the symbiote, it was different because it absorbs the card. So of course it can't reactivate, but Aranya is a 1 cost. So I assumed turn 2, activate, move a card to the right. Turn 3, activate, move the next card you want to the right.
It's almost an ongoing activate feature.
It's like a grenade. It's like a grenade. You throw it once, you use its effect once, and then you can't.
You activate. Yeah, almost a delayed on reveal if you would kind of think about it, right?
But it has to happen. So you have to play this card down either the turn. You have to play the turn before either way. So okay, listen, Aranya, I'm definitely going to go with a double gold. I think she's going to be great for move, and she's kind of the the Ghost Spider, the Gwen, if you may, to move a card to a lane that you need to get it out the way. But she gives it +2 power as well, which is pretty awesome. So I'm going to go double gold with this card. Guess, of course, your take on Aranya.
Aranya's best deck is not move.
Ooh,
I like that.
That was
what is your take?
Okay, what's up?
Aranya's best deck is destroy.
Okay, so we're destroying the Deadpool, giving it +2. We are destroying the other cards, giving it +2, and moving it to the right. Okay.
And
all right, let's hear this.
Fodder for Killmonger, and it's better fodder than most of the other synergies for Carnage.
Carnage and Venom.
You have an easy card to destroy. You have an easy card to amplify. And you have a card that basically is going to be replacing what Forge used to do and why people still play Hulkbuster. This is now a cheaper version to be able to do it.
And you got Nico.
Easier. Yeah, and you got Nico still in there.
Yeah.
So you've got the ability to add a whole bunch of power and move it and then destroy it faster. So why not play that over Hulkbuster or Forge in Destroy decks? I don't see a
Destroy gets more love again.
So I think that this makes the Deadpool deck better. And I think that it has a higher effect on the Deadpool deck than it does in move decks. So I think that this is still also going to be a good card. This is going to be a double gold.
Yeah. What's your question?
You don't think Human Torch and Vulture get a better benefit from Aranya than Deadpool? You think Deadpool gets the better benefit than those cards?
I think the deck overall does.
Oh, multiple man?
Move, because move, when you're looking at the Human Torch synergy, move dies that deck specifically dies to Killmonger. This deck wants Aranya to die, wants Deadpool to die, because you lower the ticker on Deadpool. You lower the ticker on death. You lower the frequency needed to get Deadpool, because the mana curve it takes to get Deadpool to do its thing. Right? You could still even play this as a later turn card because it's only 1 cost. You could play it down as a final card on turn 3. do, any other setup, have it be the last card on turn 3, activate on turn 4, play down the Deadpool onto that card, which means that Aranya does that, moves it, and then you destroy it, and then you're right back to where you were as if you had no buff. So on the earlier turns, the card helps death more than it does Human Torch, because Human Torch is more adept to dying in what's the word I'm looking for? It's, if you're going to do it for the Human Torch line, you're not doing it for Phoenix Force. You're doing it because you're trying to do it for move. If you're building a Phoenix Force deck, you're just trying to destroy that thing on turn 2 no matter what. You don't need the extra at that point. You could still
+2 power,
put it on Phoenix Force and make it work, because you could revive the Phoenix Force and then activate it afterwards, and then move the Phoenix Force over. There's going to be those lines that are great for the multiple man lines, but for Human Torch,
that's what I was thinking. Multiple man, Vulture, per se,
even Dagger.
Dagger, yes,
even Dagger. It's better for those than it is Human Torch, in my opinion.
Human Torch
would be able to get Human Torch higher. It's more likely to be destroyed than
Killmonger or anything else.
Right.
Right.
That's why I put it more as a Deadpool card. It will work for move, obviously. It'll be good in move. It'll be good in Phoenix Force.
Right.
But for Human Torch versus Deadpool, I'm taking Deadpool every single time.
Okay.
So the question I have before Sino gives us his take, could we not symbiote Spider Aranya and re-trigger her activate?
Yes, because Symbiote Spider-Man is going to take on the effect unused, even if it has been used. It's the same thing as Sonic Teenage Warhead.
But
it's the same thing as...
So you can trigger her.
But those are texts. Right, those are texts, though. So we're going to... Once he takes her or absorb her, then we have to wait the next turn to activate her, I assume.
So... You know what? Actually, I take that back, because I did Symbiote Spider-Man on a... not Bar Sinister. What's the other one where it multiplies it all in the same lane?
Bar Sinister. Oh, no, Bar Sinister. Yeah, Bar Sinister. You're right. Bar Sinister was right.
Yeah.
No, Sinister London.
Sinister London. Gotcha. Okay.
So we're getting, we're getting Sinister London, Bar Sinister, all the same shit.
It's all Sinisters. But so I did it on Bar Sinister. And then because I was trying to set up a line of like this crazy potential Galactus line. I was like, ooh, wait, I could play this down and then have it continue to merge and merge and merge and merge and merge. When I had one Symbiote Spider-Man merge into another Symbiote Spider-Man,
it did not allow you to.
I could not activate that new Symbiote Spider-Man. So I don't think you're going to be able to do that.
It's going to work.
But obviously, we're going to have to try it.
Okay. That's perfect. All right. So, Sino, your take on Aranya?
My initial take was this is great for move. Just off the jump. My initial take was Phoenix Force all the way. The fact that they have something else to move and proc up their Human Torches or their multiple men or their poles or their vultures or, like you say, Dagger, just another tool in there to make that even more dangerous. Madam Web, now we have Aranya, so it's very move is coming up, you know what I mean? So I'm a little nervous about playing against a Phoenix Force card list now, because now it's really gonna get really sick, you know what I mean? Now you're really gonna have to do that math. You're really gonna have to proc up your cards, because it is going to be something to be reckoned with. So I'm going to give, even though I do feel that way, and that Destroy take threw me for a loop. I didn't even think about Destroy when I was thinking of her. So shout out to Guess on that one. So I think she is. I was going to give her gold, but I'm going to give her double gold just for the appeal on the Destroy also.
Okay. The last card coming out this season is my diamond card, and that is the Scarlet Spider.
Yeah, just give it diamonds. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, listen, activate and add an exact clone of this card to another location. So in my head, I'm thinking about the Shuri play, or even the symbiote reactivation Shuri, getting this card to a nice big number. And then, of course, then throwing this in another lane, right? Then we get to clone the other lane. This also works great in Guess' new favorite archetype, Destroy, right? Because this becomes a 5 cost, putting it somewhere else, getting it destroyed, and having some fun with it. I think being able by itself to activate when you want to add an additional 5 power in another lane, I think is pretty good. Yes, the RNG is a factor into it, but if you think about the things like you mentioned before, like lockdown and everything else, you can storm a lane or lock it down with Professor X, and of course, activate this card in the last turn. And guess what? It's going to go in that lane that you need. So, and not in the Professor X lane, but in the lane that you need it to be in. So I think, to me, this is going to be a diamond card because it's going to give you the ability to add a clone of this card, whether you buff it with Shuri or any other card in another lane. And that is huge. And by itself, being a 5 power is just phenomenal. Yes. Oh, Sino, would you like to go next?
That was interesting. I'm not gonna lie, that was a little interesting right there. You might have cracked the code on that one. Maybe a little pause. Wong, Shuri, Scarlet Spider. I kind of like that.
Activate.
Does that not work?
Does that not work? Guess what is your version?
Guess
is like, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Does that not work?
Why
it
not?
Does not work.
Let's hear it. Why doesn't it work?
First off, you'd have to Zabu. Okay.
Okay.
You have to.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, you have to get the.
Well, do you for? Wait, yeah, you're right. You have to Zabu. Absolutely have to. Or play Magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Which is fine.
And then you have to activate it the following turn. You're gonna run out of turns. Yeah, you gotta.
Okay.
You need more of it.
You activate on 6, though, right? Because right now,
which means
when I'm playing
5.
Right. Because when I'm playing the Red Skull right now, getting Red Skull of 56 Taskmaster on turn 6, we'll think about Scarlet being the Red Skull, playing it on turn 5, getting the extra buff from the double Shuri, and then activate it on turn 6. So you should be still fine.
Spitting out a clone, yeah.
Right. You're still fine. As long as you play by turn 5, you should be okay.
But why wouldn't you just play Red Skull in that instance and just do Shuri Red Skull? Why
True that. Why do Scarlet Spider?
It gives me
why not go for the?
It only gets a 20-hour version.
Well, because at the end of the day, we have to be concerned about everything else that could stop the Red Skull, or we have to be concerned with Taskmaster. We don't got Taskmaster in our hand, or Taskmaster gets pulled by Doc Ock, which has been happening lately, or there's a Cosmo in the lane because everybody's playing Cosmo to stop the reactivation. At least the clone will go in the other spot.
Backup. I'm not gonna lie, for Taskmaster. Like if you don't pull the Taskmaster,
of course it's a great backup. It is a great backup, but in most cases, that the whole point of it is the surprise factor to me. And yes, that's something we're gonna talk about next. Our favorite thing with Activate, and of course, is Shuri Red Skull, 56 power than Taskmaster. But I've come across places where people drop the Cosmo. Now you're like, what do I do here? They put the Cosmo in another lane where the Taskmaster should go. At least Scarlet Spider, that 20 power that infinite power will go somewhere else. But nonetheless,
it's not bad to have a 20 power go somewhere else. But yeah. I'm first off, this was my favorite Spider-Man growing up. Not gonna lie, with the hoodie and everything. Like,
yeah.
This was the sickest looking Spider-Man. 2099 also, when I was a kid, was cool, but like this one was my favorite because I was like, he had the blue hoodie, he had the sick, shooters on the arm right there on the wrist. Like I really was into this, but the card, this seems actually like a pretty cracked card. I think I have to learn a little bit more about it, but when it comes out, I think when I get to play it, I can really give it a better rating. But from my initial reaction, I'm gonna give it platinum. I'm not going diamond, but I like this card. It's pretty platinum to me.
All right, that's fair. Guess. I know you got all the screw faces in the world right now.
Yeah, Guess has been itching.
Get him out the corner. Go ahead, Guess. Say what you got to say, buddy.
Ding, ding.
I think y'all are overhyped on this card.
Overhyped.
I'm going to give you the hot take of the season, which is that this will be the worst card of the season by a mile.
I knew we couldn't get along. Let's go. No.
Yeah, this is great.
This is War Machine all over again. This is where people say, oh my God, I'm so excited for this card. This card looks so amazing. I love this card. I love this character. It's going to be the card that we needed, etc. And then they play it and go,
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. So, because 4/5, right? It puts another duplicate of that card somewhere else. So whether you add on +2, +3, +5, Shuri, whatever, right? If you pull off the whole line of your, what we'll call your magic situation line in this instance of Zabu into Symbiote Spider-Man, into Shuri, into this card, right? You get that 4-card line. Any day of the week, I would rather take Thor, Beta Ray Bill, Jane Foster, Odin as a 4-card line because it way overpowers those two 40 power cards. Those two 20 power cards any day of the week. I think there are too many cards that are going to be able to outdo this more often than not. This card's strength does not come from building it up. This card's strength comes from getting into those locations that you have locked down. This then leads back to what I was talking about with Control becoming one of the best decks in Marvel Snap, because now you're looking at a scenario of this works really, really well in Silver Surfer, because you're always looking for something on turn 4 to fill the mana curve perfectly for Silver Surfer to make it work. Okay. It's one of the reasons you don't play speed in Silver Surfer right now, because turn 4 consistently sucks. And if you want to have good speed, you've got to get it to 3-7. You got to justify it getting to at least 3-6, but more often than not, 3-7 if you can get it up there, or however else higher if you put in other mechanics. Now you're looking at a solid turn 4 play, just like you saw Gwenpool start to rise as a really consistently solid card in Silver Surfer, because it fills the curve and gives extra oomph to that lane. This is doing that for Storm synergies in particular, getting into those lanes, and goes back down to the whole lockdown conversation I had earlier about Madam Web and Ebony Maw. And it's not going to work like you said in Professor X, but it is going to go into some of those other locked down situations. Goose, another great lockdown situation that this card really does want to benefit for, because it's not going to get restricted by it. That's how this card needs to be looked at, as it's a 5 power for lockdown, not a can I get this to be a Shuried card, because if you've got to win 2 out of 3 lanes, I would more consistently rather have Shuri help me guarantee my 1 lane rather than go wide in a couple of lanes and have it maybe be enough to win either of them, with RNG mixed into it that you don't know where that other symbiote is going. I think that this is a gold card and nothing more, unless if they all of a sudden decide to buff up its power just slightly to even 4-6, I would reconsider that ranking. But at 4-5, this is super giant with a slight upside. And for that reason, I don't think it's as hyped as it shouldn't be as hyped as the other cards of this season. The rest of the season is fantastic. It's still a good card, don't get me wrong, but in comparison to literally everything else the entire season, this has a huge drop before it gets to be good.
So you're saying it's kind of like Doom?
It's a worse
like it'll get you. It's a worse Doom because it only gives you one. It gives you only a clone. Okay, it doesn't give you the 2 other. And does the clone count as a no ability card?
To our understanding, yes, but that hasn't been confirmed yet. It's just outline information.
I'm thinking some sort of Patriot shenanigans type stuff.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Professor X, you said it won't work. If I Professor X a lane.
Right. Well, that's a place the card. It won't work. It's not moving into that.
No, I don't want it to move into the lane. That's what I'm trying to say. I want to lock the lane down so I know not to put it. So it goes in opposite lane. It will still do that. It won't.
You can't.
It won't move into the Professor X.
You're materializing. It's the same reason that M'Baku can't land in a Professor X lane.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's perfect.
Yeah.
I want to make sure of that, because I'm saying if I Professor X a lane, winning that lane, I know where my clone is going to go. So I can kind of control. Yes, that's what I'm saying. I can kind of control the RNG and say, I know it's going to go in that lane. That's what I meant, not move into the Professor X lane. Okay, listen, I get it. Guess I like your opinion on it. You know, I mean, a lot of people felt the same way about Sage, and it's not until we start to really play with the card and see what kind of things it comes with it, what happens to it. So I'm with you. I get it. People are very hyped about it. I don't think people are hyped about this card. I don't hear a lot of people talk about it, but I feel it's going to be on that diamond level. Nonetheless, you guys let us know what you feel down below. Guest feels it's going to be a goal. Dino thinks he's going to wait to see. He says platinum, which, is cool. And I say diamond. So you guys let me know if I'm crazy or not. But we all agree Madam Web is going to be a problem this season. For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Dangerous.
Now, on to the next wonderful topic that we want to discuss. This is all in regards to the wonderful activation of everything we just discussed. So we did play the card when it came out. Guest played it for 24 hours or 14 hours. It came out like at 3 o'clock. Nonetheless, what is your
shout out to our boy Prashan doing the spotlight video for Symbiote Spider-Man.
Of course.
Yes, great video. It was awesome. Shout out to him. Great job, Prashan.
100%.
Yes, we got to see what's under the hat with that video. So if you guys ever wanted to know what Prashan's hair looks like, just alone for that, go ahead and go check out that video. We'll leave it down below. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Give Prashan some love in that video. Now, what has been your favorite combination with the Symbiote Spider-Man? I guess you go ahead, take it from there. How do you feel about what's your favorite combo with that card?
Right now, the most consistent appearance of it has probably been either Dr. Doom. That to sacrifice a lane, knowing that you're going to get big power, adding 10 in each of those lanes. I'd rather Symbiote Spider-Man into Dr. Doom most scenarios for that combination. Outside of that, I've also enjoyed it a lot in Move, being able to use your Ghost Spider or use your Iron Fist and then play this down to then reactivate that 1-cost move manipulator again later on. That ends up being really critical, and it's good stats. So I'm a fan of that. Otherwise, you can't ever go wrong with Nimrod, because Nimrod's just, when you get it to hit, forget it.
It's a problem. Yeah, especially with that new wonderful OTA love for our boy Atuma. So
yeah, buddy.
Yeah. Nimrod is the truth. Okay, cool. I like that. I'm so down with that. Of course, my favorite one would have to be the Galactus. I know it's gonna be good for another probably week or so, and then people are gonna catch on. But that Galactus symbiote play is so beautiful, so awesome, so satisfying to pull off. And again, it works with Nimrod, right? It works with Wolverine and everything else in the list. So it's just like, hey guys, kneel before the symbiote Lactus. And there goes the Nimrods coming over the board. But yeah, I also had fun doing the Shuri into Red Skull, 56 power, and then Taskmaster. It's fun. I just feel I wish there was a way that we can get armor in that lane. But of course, Symbiote only absorbs the low cost card, and you don't want it to hit that armor. So nonetheless, you're taking a big chance that both Shadow King or Shang-Chi does not exist. And my last one, third one, of course, is with Black Panther and Armin Zola. Big fan of that.
You don't get another one, bro. He took my joint, boy. Hey, you don't get another one.
Tell us why.
How do you? How you feel?
I just think it's dope that you hit the Zola. I've seen the symbiote Zolud, and I've seen the symbiote hit Zola and do crazy things. I've seen it do reproc Odins and stuff like that, just being in a lane by itself. So it's been crazy, man. I really enjoy the symbiote, but yeah, it's all good, man. Go ahead.
No, I'm done. You did. I didn't say.
That was my favorite one. I have seen it.
Yeah. I was more pushing
twice and do some meme shit. That was crazy. You know what I mean? Somebody had put like a call in there, and then later on, turn 6, the person activated. They put chi, and then they activated the symbiote and proc the chi again. So that was crazy. But other than that, the Zola play was my favorite.
Yeah, I was more so the Black Panther. Being able to trigger and absorb Panther is my favorite versus the Zola. Okay. But yeah, I would just said Zola because what you do with Panther, you Zola him afterwards. But being able to trigger Panther and get him stronger at the end of the turn or, whatever, or the end of the game is pretty cool too. All right, so that's awesome. As you guys can see, there are ways to have fun with the Activate Symbiote Spider-Man. There's many ways, many favorite ways. I think all of them are the best ways. And I think that's why this card is a great refreshing card to Marvel Snap, because you can do so many different things with it. And we all have our favorite moments with it merging with crazy cards and its abilities. Now, on to our next awesome topic. And that, of course, is surrounding how we feel about what cards should be in the activate pool. Now, as the video mentioned, we do have Hell Cow and, of course, Black Swan coming up, which I think are two huge ones, especially for this card and the other one for the bounce package, right? Yeah. Being able to say, hey, these cards are now 0, I think is phenomenal. Other cards I feel should be activated. I'm going to pick the one that I prefer the most. Then I'll let Sino go, and then we go into guess. And I think that one for me is Shuri. Yes, I'm a Shuri fan, and I feel bad for Shuri since she got the shit out of the stick back in the original Red Skull Taskmaster days. And I think we've utilized Shuri in a way, especially I have, to trick my opponents to think I'm going to play in that lane when I don't, because of Shuri's text now, which is the next card played here gets its power doubled. I think we should be able to now control that ability so we can then activate, play the card we want in that lane, and it doesn't have to be the exact next card. So that's my take. That's the one I think just should be activate. So, what's the card that you feel should be activate?
I think that's a good card. I think they're going to be a little scared of making that way. I think that, you know what I mean? Just because of how cracked that can be, I think they'll shy away from that. I'm personally a fan of it. You know what I mean? Look at his face.
I'm sitting here thinking about like the possibilities of how that makes it better. Like, what can I do more with that other than what I'm already doing outside of just, lane knowledge?
Well, it doesn't limit you just to that next turn, right? You can proc it when you
So now 5 and 6, you can do as you please, because you could proc it right before turn 6 and drop that final card in that you need. So, that opponent's winning that lane. And you're like, all right, I need to get at least 10, 20 power in that lane. You drop your 10 power.
At least it doesn't make it predictable. You know what I mean?
Right. You could play your turn 5 prior to that and do what you need to do. I think that's my whole thing is stop, limiting us to just, hey, next turn, you got to play in Shuri. So now our opponents know, all right, they got priority. I'm just going to put Shang-Chi here and hope it's not Nimrod, right?
I think it takes the unpredictability out of like Shadow King and cheating it. You know what I mean? I think that would be the only reason maybe you'll get away with that. But as far as that, like, I think they'll be scared of that. Like, but I think it's cracked.
They might be.
Okay.
No, I'm about to say you're right. They could be, because could you imagine like pulling the whole Invisible Woman Taskmaster, right? On turn. So Invisible Woman 2, Taskmaster 5, Shuri's sitting there waiting, right?
Well, Taskmaster's just 6 now, so you have to cheat it out.
Oh, that sucks. See, this
Wave on 3.
Forget it. Forget
Wave on 3, Taskmaster on 4. Like there's nothing you can do.
That's fine. Okay, fine. Taskmaster on 4. Taskmaster on 4. Shuri on 5, sitting there waiting to activate. And you drop a nice big card there with the Shuri activation.
Yeah.
No, that doesn't matter, because you can do that now.
Activate now. Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. No, I prefer the first part. Give me my ability to do what I want to do. But go ahead, see that.
All right, cool. I'm gonna pick Zabu. I'm gonna pick Zabu as my activate card. I just think having him as an activate, having that control over when you want your 4 drops to come down a cost is definitely going to have a big advantage for you. It's going to help in so many different avenues and so many different card lists, so many different curves. It's ridiculous. So my card is definitely going to be Zabu. Think about the things that you can do. You get Wong out early. You can get your Coles out early. I can't even tell you how many 4 costs you can cheat out. You can even cheat out your Symbiote Spider-Man now. So it's like, I definitely think having Zabu back, maybe not ongoing, I get it. They're not going to bring him back to ongoing or whatever. But when I felt like he was so good, but maybe him as an activate will kind of give us that old ongoing feeling is my take on it. So I'm going to pick Zabu. I'm going to go with that. Okay, I guess kill us.
I think we'll activate Zabu on turn 5.
That's right.
So turn 6, we're dropping, Shang-Chi and Enchantress, right? I think that's the problem with Zabu now, is that you don't want to play him on turn 5. It's a waste of a 2 cost. So playing him on turn 2 on curve, have him sitting there just waiting and then come turn 5. Yeah, on turn 5, you play your card and then hit activate on turn 6, right? You could do it right before.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I'm wrong. Activate on turn 5. So come turn 6, you got Shang-Chi and you got Enchantress. So I'm with you. That's a great card that I hope they do make activate. Guess, yes, you were up, buddy. What is your activate card you want to see?
It's not a card, it's a family of cards.
Okay. I like that.
I think all of the Guardians should activate and change it from plus, but because of that, you change it from plus 4 to plus 3. Okay. Now think about this. You have the ability to play these cards down on whatever curve you want, right? And this includes Gamora, where you may even have to possibly reduce Gamora down to like a 5/7 to make it happen. But the ability to play those cards down, if you need to push priority, you can try to target and activate like you would on playing the card as you currently do with the on reveal. You try to hit for it if you need to push priority for whatever reason, or you just line them up and then turn 6, activate everybody. And then the whole Guardian army now goes in there. So now your opponent's trying to factor in, if I play into this game, this is actually the power I'm going up against going into turn 6 because they didn't use it at that point. I think that finally brings the Guardians up to where they should be, because you still need the ability to hit. You still need the ability to be decent. And this plays both offense and defense in very unique ways, because if you want it to be a priority style play, because you want to, let's say, Alioth on turn 6, you can then activate them early to try and seal that priority, because you got the extra power because you guessed right, just like as if you played it right now, which is the risk, which is why nobody plays them. And Groot and Drax and Star-Lord are 3 of the lowest played, yet alone lowest winning cards in Marvel Snap. If you make them activate where they can just go pew, 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 now I think we got something.
Yes, because you still have to guess if your opponent plays there on that turn 6. Right. And in most cases, your opponent has no choice, but hey, I got to win this lane, so I got to play here, right? So no, I like that. I like that a lot. That's a great.
Well, I got a question to both of you, actually.
Yeah.
How do you think Activate affects the new player? The new players that are just coming and learning the game. How do you two think that affects them, this new Activate feature?
I think it's better for them than it is for us, but go ahead, guess.
I was going to say it makes them spend $10.
Right.
But I mean, just all these Activate cards come out. You know what I mean? This is a new thing. How does that affect the new player?
It affects them in a great way because they don't know what the old ways were. So to them, Activate is part of the way, the only way they know.
Learning.
Okay. Right. So I think if you are a new player and you heard, hey, Snap is a game that is a very easy game, 6 turns, quick, and they see this Activate feature, they might go, oh, this is pretty cool. I like this. Like, it's kind of bringing the Yu-Gi-Oh style to Snap for me, right? So I think for new players, I think it won't, I don't know right now because we haven't tried it, but do we know if they have a tutorial for Activate? We have tutorials for on reveal and ongoing.
There is a tutorial built into Activate, which is, I think, the first 3 times or the first time that you play it.
It tells you the card.
It says press here to activate, and then it says, press here to deactivate in like blue and yellow text on the actual card. That's the tutorial of it. But I'm actually going to disagree, because the new player doesn't interact with this with this mechanic until at earliest Series 3.
Okay.
Because they're not getting spotlight keys and they're not interacting with anything in Series 4 or 5 until collection level 3.
I mean, they have the season pass.
But they can buy it though, right? I'm saying they can buy the season pass after they finish the recruit season.
Right. The majority of people, I'm saying, who play this game, who go into it for the very first time, they're not seeing it unless if they buy the season pass. So being that more players don't invest into the game than do, I think a majority of players, especially in the first couple of weeks of playing the game, the majority of players are actually not interacting with Activate in a way that makes them change their gaming experience. I think only once they see content, or if they hit Series 3 and then run into someone who's playing an Activate card and then they go, what the hell is that? How did that do that at that turn? They played it 2 turns ago. It creates that what's going on here moment. And that's when I think the new player experience is actually drastically changed, because for a new player who sees it, it gives you that alert of, new card, first time or whatever, there needs to be more if it shows activate for the very first time. There needs to be like another explanation. And that's going to have to be the case for the first time that you see a activate card of any kind. And I wonder if it's been factored in for newer players that it appears like
that's what we want to know.
Spider-Man, but a month from now, if it's the first card that they see is Aranya, okay, it's got to show up for Aranya, but maybe not their first time they see Symbiote Spider-Man later on, because now they know the ability effect. So
but I don't think. I mean, I understand Sino's question, but I think he's going based off the fact that they do interact with the activate as new players. How do they take it compared to us who've been playing it?
Well, eventually they will get to the point, right?
Right.
So eventually they get to that point.
Yeah.
So I think that's what he meant, and I feel that it's better for them versus us because we've seen the whole thing prior. Not to say that we're not happy with it. I think the older players are extremely happy because it brings something new to the game.
Yeah.
But I think, to answer Sino's question, they don't know any better. So for them to get it now, when they do get it, it's going to be another exciting thing for them. The same way we are excited right now, right? Yeah. We're pumped about this because it's new. They just get it all in one shot once they get to that level,
Great takes.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way I feel about that. Now, we did allow you to speak about, Guest did give his, which is awesome. Okay. You gave the Guardians, you gave Zabu, I gave Shuri.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
guys, leave a comment down below how you guys feel about it, what you guys feel should be the next activate card beyond the ones that are coming in. We would definitely like to know and see how that goes. And you know what? I think we give a season pass out for that. This will be on the new home, which is the SuperTechGod YouTube channel. If you guys leave a comment down below on what you feel should be the next activate card of the current roster, we'll pick a winner and give it a season pass.
Crib and we move to his crib. Let's go.
There it is. All right. Now, we on this channel pride ourselves on guessing the correct set of OTAs when something happens. We've done it. Check the VODs, check the videos. We've always said the right things, not around it, but we guessed it correctly. Now, granted, we are all wonderfully special because we are all now in the creator program. Shout out to Sino Top 5, who is now a member of the creator program.
Just got in. Baby, let's do it.
That's right. So before the notes come out, if we get the notes, you guys don't want to hear about those stories.
Oh, sure.
We want to take one OTA or change that we feel will happen on the next OTA. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and hand it over to Guess because he likes to guess it correctly. Guess what do you feel is going to be one of the next changes for the OTA?
I have several, and I literally just put out a video about this. So I'm trying to pick and choose which one do I think is actually most likely out of all of them, besides activate reworks. But I'm going to go with not one I want, but one I think that will more likely happen. And that's Fastos to 2-1.
Okay. I like that. It needs to happen. Fastos needs some love.
He needs
Definitely
to be
agree with that.
He needs to be a card that's looked at like Pixie, because you need to see the benefit of the card. And the earlier you play it, the more benefit you get from the card. So the downside, just like how he's currently costed at 3/3, where it's a downside to play him at 3 because he's not very high on cost, not very high on power. It's the same thing. And in the two cost category, cards that are 2/1 or lower are typically very strong over time. So I think that needs to be the case for this card just as much. So I say Fastos, who's a good card, gets better, but not broken by making him a 2/1.
Not a 2/2.
No, not a 2/2. I think he has to be a 2/1.
I really thought Fastos will stay a 3, but nonetheless, I thought he would be in the activate bubble. I thought he would be an activate card.
How so? Like the next card you draw gets one of those
yes
only?
Correct.
Then he goes way down, and he needs to go up to like being like a 3/5 that does that or something.
Yes.
Like he needs to get a buff if you do that.
Correct. That's what I thought. I thought he would get a buff, activate that next card, not the deck, just the next card when he hit activate. And I think that would be fun because nobody's playing Fastos the way he is now, you know, because of the RNG and the base, right? Because then you can also factor in, you won't do Howard the Duck, play him, and then activate. You know, the next card that's coming is going to get that change. That will be fun. But, you know, give Howard the Duck and Fastos something to play for. But nonetheless, I do like your OTA.
I like that.
And I'm not going to go against it. Okay. My guess on the OTA is not next OTA, but on October the 24th, there is an OTA schedule.
This is like the future. Oh, yeah. You're going further out. Okay, gotcha.
You sure October? You sure you mean October?
Yeah. Yes, I saw the listing that Interrobang posted today of the schedule for the OTAs and the patches.
Okay.
So if you follow Intero, you'll see it there. October 24th is the last one on that schedule, and that is an OTA for 1024. Guess you look surprised.
Yeah, why you're thinking so far out and not anything soon, but go on.
Because he has a plan. I don't know what's going on here.
You guys heard it here first, okay? We're now in September. October has some amazing cards coming that allow for some wonderful increase in power. It's going to be a fun time. It's going to be phenomenal, but I'm going with October 24th. Not only is it my birthday, but I'm also going to say on that day, the Infinite finally gets his buff. The Infinite will go to a 24 power card. And that is only because it is on my birthday. It's an OTA, and 24 is the number. And that is my take for the OTA of October 24.
You know how much it takes me to say that about you?
I know.
Coming from me? Damn.
I know. So, Devs, I know you guys are watching.
You ain't getting this shit.
Devs, I know you guys are watching. So October 24th, let's give Infinite that love. Hey, everybody down in the chat, when you guys go into anybody's stream, make sure you let them know 1024 Infinite needs a buff. All right, we'll get the petition signed.
I hate you. I hate you.
The worst OTA yes I've ever heard.
You know what? You laugh now. I'm going to clip this when it happens.
In October.
When it happens.
In October when they bump
If not, I'm going to clip this for you guys. I'm so clipping this. Sino, what's your take on it, on the future OTA?
Are we guessing like do activation feature changes count?
Yeah.
Do I think like a card is going to get active? The activate feature, does it count? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I got two. All right. My first one is I hope they make Red Guardian an activate card. I would like to see Red Guardian as an activate card. I think it would give it a lot more appeal to me.
Interesting. Okay.
I can have a little bit more control and design of how I want to, what cards I want to attack, what low, you know what I mean? I think I would have a better range in that with Red Guardian. I think he would be more played, even though he's being played like a mother right now. But like, I would like that. I think it would make Red Guardian really cool. And my other one is a far-fetched one. I think I could do like Ken and be like, in the future, but I'm not. They're going to make Silver Surfer back to a +3. That I'm going with that. Let's go. We're bringing Surfer back, baby. BSB, bring Surfer back to a +3. I think in this meta, he will be perfectly fine with giving 3 costs a +3, even though we have a shit ton of them. I don't care. I want Surfer back to a +3. But yeah, Red Guardian being an activate, and let's BSB. Let's bring Surfer back.
Interesting.
Can I spin you? I want to spin you both one variation question off of this.
Okay.
You can only fix one. Which one is it and how? Loki, Arishem.
All right.
I know which one I'm picking. I'm going with the Loki, and I'm taking the cost reduction out of it and making it more fair. I'm taking the cost reduction out of it and making it way more fair. I hate that fucking card. I'm sorry to be so frank about it, but I do. I hate that damn card. I hated it before. I hate it now when they made this change. It's a 2 now. It's even more toxic. It's even being played even earlier. I hate that card. I would just take the cost reduction away from Loki and finally fix it.
That makes Loki not Loki.
Well, oh well. Oh well.
And that's the issue.
Good defense. Oh well.
Yeah. Oh well. I don't really care much.
And that's the issue. That is the issue.
Oh well. Well, then they need to rework it somehow and make it different. But I would definitely take the cost reduction away from Loki. I hate Loki. Arishem, doesn't seem so bad.
Arishem is still a problem. I'll go with Arishem.
It's a problem, but I just don't think it's as bad.
Yeah, I think Loki right now isn't a problem unless he's played. Unless Loki was. I'm saying unless he's paired with Arishem. Outside of it, I really don't give two shits about Loki. But still being able to be played with Arishem and Quinjet, that shit is not fair because I think you still get your cards with Arishem, even though they tried to add more random cards. It still seems like people are still getting the cards that they put in the deck. So for me, I think to fix Arishem, you give that extra power, but your cards cost 1 more extra to play. That's something.
It kind of evens itself out. No, it might as well just be the cards at regular cost.
Nope, because now the Shang-Chi is not a 4, it's a 5.
But you're getting extra energy.
That's fine. You're still playing that bitch on 5. You need something that negates playing Arishem.
And that's what I think. I can play a 5 cost card.
You could, but now your cards cost more. So not the cards that you get randomly from Arishem. The cards you put in the deck cost 1 more.
So you're building a whole low curve with Arishem. That's like 1s, 2s, and 3s because they're actually going to be 2s, 3s, and 4s plus Arishem.
Correct. And now you're kind of now penalized for playing Arishem per se, because now those cards cost 1 more, even though you get that extra power, extra energy, like Guest says. So now, for example, let's go with Shang-Chi. Now he's instead of a 4 cost, he's a 5 cost. Now you do have that extra energy, so you could play him out early on 4. But if you go ahead and use Loki, what happens now? What happens now is your cards in your hand cost 1 extra more. You don't have that extra energy, right? Because Loki goes ahead and gets rid of the whole Arishem play. So now the cards in your hand cost 1 more. Loki gets your cards that you're about to get from your opponent 1 less. And now you really have to think about how you want to play this. Do you want to go ahead and Loki, or do you just want to keep Arishem so you can keep getting that additional energy per turn?
So the only reason I don't think that's going to work is because for the same way that Arishem is still good, whether or not you get Quinjet down, that Loki is still good. That Arishem is still good, whether or not you get Mobius down, because Mobius just undoes all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And
yes,
for turns 4, 5, and 6, now you've got lower cards organically already in your deck. So I think, and then you've got more turns to draw Mobius to get it out there in time. Which would be down on Mobius turn 4, because that'd be the fastest you'd be able to play him down anyway. So turn 5 and 6 is what it is. So I pose the reason I pose this question is because I'm seeing it come up everywhere in a variety of different ways. And I looked at it, based on what we could find. Obviously, our public stats are always going to be different than whatever Second Dinner and Newverse can see. And when I look at the decks that are successful, because I'm thinking about Arishem by itself versus Loki by itself versus Arishem plus Loki. So Loki decks in and of themselves, when it's not combined with Arishem, are generally, no matter what mix you put it into, generally oddly balanced. It's good, but not broken. Arishem decks without Loki are tremendously worse. Like, not even close.
Right.
How much worse they are. Loki with Arishem obviously is the best combination by a mile. So I've originally, I've gone on rants. I'm on record for this. That's saying that fixing Loki doesn't fix Arishem. And now after watching several iterations of Loki, several changes to the Arishem deck, it's still a not fun game experience, because a game that's supposed to be casual and fun is now just a casino. It's just luck. What card did you happen to draw? And then it takes all strategy out of the game. It's one thing when you choose to let your opponent know that I've put in randomness. Like you play Agent Coulson, now at least your opponent knows, ooh, they have some kind of 4 cost and some kind of 5 cost. If you play Maria Hill, they know, oh, you have some kind of 2 cost. There's that known RNG versus unknown, where there's 200 and whatever something cards in all of Marvel Snap. 15 of them now exist in this deck. Good luck guessing. And that amount of RNG is too wide in the unknown category, which is what makes it a non-fun play experience as a opponent. As a user, it's incredibly fun because it's consistently a challenge and every game is new and fresh. But as an opponent, it's absolutely detestable because you can't plan anything, because you literally can't even decipher trying to figure out what the game plan is. Their devs are on record for saying one of the biggest strategies of Marvel Snap is being able to read your opponent. Well, when you give us 15 random cards to put into the deck, how the hell am I supposed to even attempt starting that? That doesn't make any logical sense to me, because I sit here going, okay, if Arishem was the problem, they would just give him the Thanos treatment. They would just have him start in your opening hand. Therefore, now you've got only 3 spots for your opening hand, curve or not, be damned. It doesn't matter. And that hurts the deck tremendously. But I don't think that's the issue anymore. I do think it's Loki. I do think that Loki having a 16% chance to be in your hand by turn 1 because of less than that. It's like a 15 or 14, whatever it is, percent.
Yeah, 14.
Yeah. To be in your opening hand on turn 1. More often than not, you're winning that matchup no matter what, because every card you just receive from that moment on is cheaper. So I think the solve is to take the best idea I've heard in Marvel Snap, which is Jeff's idea, Jeff Hoagland, who preaches a simple addition to the text, which is he's a 2/2 that it's transforms, right? Transform cards that started in your deck. That's it. Transform cards that started in your deck with cards that started in your opponent's deck. So now Arishem decks are still 27 cards. Go ahead, Loki on turn 2. That's fine. It's still a 27 card deck. And then you've got a for math, fine, whatever, 12 out of 50, 4 out of 5, 3 out of 5, whatever the fuck it is. Math is hard. I'm tired. Just bear with me. 4 out of 5 chance of drawing a card that has a reduction each turn. You don't know if you're going to draw it or not. I think that transformation then allows the benefit of Loki, but still the downside of Arishem, because it's that combination of swapping the entire deck out that makes that deck so unfun to play against. But then
what happens?
Outside.
So what happens outside of Arishem though?
What, to Loki decks?
Yeah.
It doesn't change them. Think about it. If you're playing up against an Arishem opponent versus a discard opponent, right? If you're a Loki deck, you transform your deck into cards that started in their discard deck, but it's not all 12 cards. It's 9 cards or 6 cards or whatever it is.
But the remaining is whatever you put in the card list.
Right. It transforms them to cards that started in their deck. So 6 cards from their original deck. So
not just the entire deck.
Yeah, not the entire deck. It's not a take it out, put it in.
All right.
I like that.
We had that with his hand, right? You took the starting hand from your opponent with Loki. Now they went and did the whole deck, but now you're saying merge the first and this one together and just have the starting deck and not the full deck. And that's pretty good because now your deck that you piled won't mix up with the cards that you got from your opponent very well. It won't synergize as well. Right. Unless, of course, you're pulling. Yeah, go ahead.
It allows Cassandra Nova to still have consistent strength. It allows Darkhawk to be the number one defender up against Arishem because it's not going to reduce itself down because Loki then all of a sudden decided to swap in and now take off 15 cards off of the total of that deck. Like it becomes much more controlled, and it doesn't hurt the current Loki decks that aren't Arishem. It hurts Arishem specifically.
Which they need to hurt Arishem. So,
and that's how I think they do it. I think they do it via hurting Loki that way, because if you look at the decks that Arishem is played in that doesn't have Loki, it's in a win rate and cube rate that is within reason.
Right.
And is still still a better play experience, because it's still frustrating to go up against to a degree, but you know that it can't be manipulated of one very key specific way that just brings the deck over the top. Because when you add on the reductions that happen from Loki in combination with already being ahead on having extra mana versus your opponent, it's that devilish combination that is so unfun to play against, that it just makes a lot of people, now they see Arishem decks, they just retreat for 1 cube just because they don't want to deal with it. And that should be a big enough red flag that the teams see to recognize how many opponents retreat against Arishem decks prior to turn 3. I would love to know that statistic.
Yeah. Well, you are the second employee of the month, so you'll be able to find it out.
I'll poke.
Yes, our employee of the month, Kenya over there, STG, is out. He is no longer second dinner employee of the month. 15 months running. It ends. It is now the new undisputed heavyweight champion of the world.
That's right.
It's Guest Gaming. I love the foil hat. I love
Facts. The tin hat.
It is my tinfoil hat, but it is also my crown. It is my crown.
Yes, new champion. You took down a heavyweight, Guest. Let me tell you, that is not easy thing to do. Okay.
I am very proud to say that the Marvel Snap community has been so supportive of what I do as a creator, and
that's amazing.
Made it very apparent with the collaborations that we've been working on and are still continuing to work on for the future. So you know what? Whatever happens, happens, and I can't be upset about it, and hopefully the community is enjoying it. That's what I care about more than anything else.
That's right.
That's right.
Not you, fuckers.
That's the most. You love us. You love us.
I
little brother.
Little brother, that's right. All right, that's awesome, guys. Well, again, thanks for coming by. It is on the new home. You guys can still listen to it over on the podcast channels, of course, Spotify, Apple, and everywhere else where podcasts are listened to. All right, so until next time, guys, enjoy, keep snapping, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next one. Peace.